Warning, this is for education and review purposes. Taking apart your camera may void your warranty and or may damage your camera. Do not take apart your camera. Alright, so this is the Wyze Battery Cam Pro. Take off the power cord, battery, carefully remove the SD card. You have to remove these two plugs on the side of the camera carefully to not damage the outside shell. Let's see. Let's get the first plug out. It appears that there is some sort of a retaining pin in the hinged lid part of it. Other side should be about the same. Got that plug out. And yes, there is a retaining pin for the hinge lid on that side also. Now, there does appear to be a couple of screws hidden underneath the battery hinge lid, and the only way to get those out would be to remove the battery hinge lid. So, let's see. Taking a leverage tool that's about 1/4 inch long, and just gently prying it against one side to force out the retaining pin. There it is right there. And then doing the same for the other retaining pin on the other side of the hinge lid. Should easily pop out, but if there is resistance, then it might be a little bit damaging. Okay, so the hinge lid is off. Now we can get access to those two screws and possibly remove this back cover. So there's one screw, and there's the other screw. Okay. Now, this back cover, no, it does not appear to be releasing. So there might be more screws or other clips somewhere else in the camera. Alright, do not take apart the front of the camera. There are no screws underneath the front plastic. I sort of destroyed the front plastic on my camera, trying to see if there were any screws, and there are not. There are no screws underneath this little badge icon with Wyze on it, or Roku, depending on what market they're selling it to. And there's also no screws under the PIR sensor plastic, and no screws that are accessible from the front for the other piece of black plastic. But this black plastic in the middle does appear to be retained from screws or something on the backside. And the PIR sensor plastic is very, very soft and can be damaged quite easily. When I was exploring this, it got lots of holes in it along the top side and some scratching. Very cheaply made. It seems like that would actually wear out in a normal outside environment just from wind blowing debris across the front of it, so that might lead to a problem later on in the function of this camera, that the PIR sensor might stop working because of the lens. And be careful, caution when handling sharp tools. Right here I'm trying to peel off these two back plates on the back of the camera, and they're glued in there with some sort of foam-like glue. I don't know how water resistant it is, but it seems like it would be less water resistant than like a silicone. Another one right there. It goes the full length. Now, you might be able to remove these instead by using a heat tool, but again, that might cause damage to the camera. So, let's see. There looks like there's 4 screws. I'm going to use a small screwdriver to get those out. Okay. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, each screw has a little gasket on it, or O-ring. Kind of interesting. I guess that would actually help keep it watertight. Okay, oh, 2 more screws that were kind of a little bit hidden. So 6 screws in total on the back side, 2 screws on the under the hinge lid. Okay, so let's see, will it come apart now? Well, the back cover appears to come off. And it's got a seal there around the speaker and a seal around the outside perimeter of that. But the speaker does not detach easily, so definitely not user serviceable. Alright, so I do see 4 screw holes here. I don't know if I have any screwdrivers that will actually fit down there. Oh, there goes the light. So, let's see, I'll try to fit bits and pieces of a screwdriver down in there and see if I can get those screws out. They're way down deep in there. You can see that the screwdriver has to go through the entire case to get to the screw. Not that good of design. Anyways, I got the screws out. Alright. Oh, whole thing came out. Looks like there's a connection to the board there and to that board there, so you gotta be delicate with that. And then, let's see, so the speaker attachment unhooks from up there. And I think I've got to get that other board out with the LEDs and stuff on it. I mean, that's quite a complex board for LEDs, so it might be part of the video processing for the camera. That's power supply. But these screws that were in there are just super tiny. I mean, here's a regular wood screw for comparison, and that screw fits in the middle of the regular wood screw. So, and I've got to remove a little bit of glue there so I can adjust the focus on it, because that is one thing that was an issue. Oh, and I forgot to put the, there's 2 bushings that fit down in the camera there to go between the 2 boards, and I forgot that and had to take apart the whole thing again. So here it is back together. And yeah, they screwed up on taking apart the front plastic. But it should still function. Now the focus before was like that, and the focus after I adjusted it was like that. So, anyways, I hope you all have a good day.